sometimes when they say that, like, if you're the best, then you're at the wrong place. Have you ever heard of that saying?
Yeah.
Did you feel that when you were here in Ottawa? Like,
I definitely feel like I was like the top level guy, but I've also been training for a long time.
yeah.
At TriStar, like, or at
Do you get
H2O.
humbled at TriStar? Because you know when I first started like doing martial arts, I would get humbled every day, and I still do to this
Yeah.
day. You know,
Yeah.
but I guess when you reach a level where like you're the best, then you kind of could feel a bit more stagnant, right? Like you can't really get better if you're already the best.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, at TriStar, there's a bunch of guys. Like at TriStar H2O, there's a bunch of guys that are like beyond me. You know, so it's like it really shows you like that there's levels to this game. You know, in terms of that question, like I think like the reason why I like TriStar and H2O is because I'm more of like an MMA guy.
Okay.
And in Ottawa, like they're not very MMA oriented. So in Ottawa, there's a culture of like, gi. You have to
Yes.
train in the gi. In Montreal, it's different because their culture there is no gi, and then there's like once a week it's gi, and no one wants to train gi.
Yeah.
Compared to Ottawa, it's like no gi once a week.
One thing
And
that
then-
I will say about Ottawa too, though, is that like I find that like the gyms here, yes, they do compete, and there are a lot of great fighters here in Ottawa. But I feel like it's a lot of the gyms I find is more positioned for like fitness and health, not so much more of like everybody just wants to be not. It's not more about like people want to actually make fighting as their career. Whereas I'm assuming in Montreal, it's the other way around.
Yeah, so I agree with you. Like people who are from Ottawa, like that trains out of Ottawa, like if they want to make like fighting their career, like a lot of people they go to like the States or they move to Montreal. In Montreal, like at TriStar, there's a
Yeah.
lot of people from around the world who actually like travel down to Montreal just to train and make MMA their lives.
Really, bro?
There's dorms at the gym.
Is this like an academy almost where you go and like you just train and be the best fighter in the
You're
world?
basically just training like a monk, you know.
Wow.
You live in the gym, like there's dorms.
Yeah.
So there's like I believe that the building next door, which is attached to the gym.
Yeah.
There's like fighters that shares like they all share a kitchen, and they all
Okay.
wake up in the morning. They train together. They eat together. Like they do everything together, you know. So. You know, it's
That's
basically
actually a
their
sick,
life.
That's actually
right?
a sick environment because you're surrounded by the guys that are actually who have the same goal as you,
Yeah.
right? Because sometimes when you're just like when you're the only one that's focused or like you're the only one that has like one big goal, it's so easy to be distracted. But when you're around similar people with the same mindset and with the same goal, it's so easy to actually like, get off track, right?
Yeah.
And you also just keep yourself accountable too, right? Because you'll know if you're lacking.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
So are you living in one of those like dorms situation?
No, I'm currently living with a friend, but this month I'm
Yeah.
gonna be moving out.
Okay, where you
I'm gonna be
moving to?
I'm planning on moving to like a studio.
Okay.
Like just be on my own. I don't want to have roommates. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And I most certainly don't want to live in the dorms with my with the other fighters because like
Yeah.
I want to have like a life outside of the gym.
That's true too, man.
You know, like.
Yeah, you gotta keep that balance. But I guess people that are living there are just like grind mode and they'll just
Yeah.
do it to save money and like and whatnot. So are you just training full time right now?
So I'm training. I'm working at a restaurant as a server, like three times a week, and I'm also teaching as a coach. So
As
I
an
teach, like,
instructor?
as an instructor, but I'm teaching privates.
Oh,
so
really?
That's what pays my bills. You know.
That's actually sick, man. That's
Yeah.
sick. I mean, that's how I know you, bro. Cause like you were the instructor at the gym that I used to go to.
Yeah.
That's like, how do you like that, man?
Teaching?
Yeah.
I love it. I love
Yeah?
it because like it really helps me learn.
Yeah.
So let's say I learn a technique like yesterday or the day before or like whenever, okay, and then I have to think about it
Yeah.
before teaching it. So like if I'm, there's there's a thing I learned in psychology where like if you're able to teach it, you're able to better understand
and retain the
and
information.
retain the information. And I find that that's really true because like, when I'm speaking it and I'm trying to instruct the other students to learn something, I'm learning more myself. So like, let's say like the next days to come, like I see myself remembering these techniques and able to execute these techniques during like live training.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. Do you ever get like, do you ever sometimes come across people that look at him like, yo, this kid doesn't know what he's talking about. He's young, like sometimes like you don't like, sometimes it's just true though. Like sometimes age sometimes get in the way of like you being yourself. Like for example, for me, like being in business and being as young as I am. I mean, I'm not young, but I definitely do look young. People don't take me serious. Do you come across the same situation in when you're training martial arts? Or teaching martial arts?
I feel like back when I used to teach in Ottawa, like there were some like one occasion that we're not gonna get into.
Oh, okay. Juicy.
Yeah. I don't want to offend people.
Okay.
But in Montreal, like I think people already know that like I made this my life and I'm taking it very, very seriously. I'm training like 5, 6, 7 hours a day. Like I'm at the gym like all day long. If I'm not at the gym, I'm still at the gym like teaching. So like
so you basically live and breathe the gym.
Exactly. I'm teaching in the gym, I'm training in the gym, like I'm always at the gym. So I think people know that, and like they've seen me train. They know how long I've been training. Like I haven't gotten any people who kind of like think
that's true too, and like
that.
And when you're showing the moves, bro, they'll know. Like they know. Like I do remember, bro, because when you're teaching, sometimes there was one time you were showing a technique and you called me over and to hold the pads to demonstrate the technique, bro, and you would do the kicks, bro, and it would fucking scare the shit out of me, bro, because I'm like, yo, if this guy missed, bro, it's going straight to my fucking forehead, bro. And I've seen videos like that happen, and like that's one of my biggest fear, bro. Like you're just holding a pad and like sometimes when like you're kind of like pushing and like you kind of push it way too low, or then like the other person kicks a little bit too high and it just fucking hits you in the head, bro. Like that's one of my biggest fear when I'm holding pads, bro. And I seen it happen live before, bro.
For real?
Yes, bro. I seen it happen live, bro. It was so bad. But
so when I was 17, 18, back when I was training in the old Owama Academy in Canada.
Okay.
There was this guy we were training together, and he was holding pads for me. I think he kind of like, how you're supposed to like brace with your body into the kick. He like dropped his hands to try to make the impact with my kick. Yeah. And the kick went over the pad. And I touched his chin, and he was like wobbling, and I'm like, bro, like this is
full power.
It wasn't full power, but
but bro, chin to chin, bro, that's crazy, bro. Bro, even getting a leg kick to the fucking thighs, bro, is terrible. Yeah. So I couldn't even imagine that.
Yeah,
that's wild. But man, like all I can say, bro, big respect to fighters, bro. You guys are a different breed. Like for me, like I train here and there, and like I don't take it as serious as someone who wants to make it into as a career. But like I see the effort and like the discipline that it takes for someone to be great. I mean that applies to anything, right? Mm-hmm. But with like fighting, bro, like you're physically like putting everything out there. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Has that ever scared you? Because like fighting, bro, like fighting, you're basically putting your life on the line. You are, bro. I'm sure you have to sign a waiver that like if you fucking die or you get, then you can't sue us, right?
I haven't signed the waiver yet.
No.
But at the same time, like I think the promotions that I fight in, like they're a little bit like like sketchy, you know, like during COVID or even before COVID, like MMA was illegal, and I believe that it still is illegal. MMA, like amateur MMA is illegal. So
really,
what they would used to do, I'm sure they still do it. Yeah, they definitely still do it. Is that these promotions in Quebec would host their events in the reserves, because the reserves, the laws apply differently. So that was kind of like the loophole.
Okay.
So it's not very like, you know, sanctioned.
Yeah.
It's not very well organized.
Yeah.
There's no like the contracts that you have to write or
That's
like
true.
sign a waiver and whatnot. So
Okay.
yeah.
I guess when you start fighting for like bigger promotions, that's when you'll start seeing those things, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
like
for sure,
you get
100%.
those waivers when you go to a fucking trampoline park. You know, like you know what I mean. So I'm pretty sure when you're fighting and you're putting your life on the line, you will get those waivers though.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
Like
No,
it's actually
you
it's
should
a
look
pro-
into that, bro. Because like, bro, you need some sort of protection. You know.
It's very surprising actually. Now that you mentioned that, it's like you're fighting MMA where like this guy's training for like, you know, years and hours every single day just to like beat
Yeah.
you up, you know.
Yeah.
And there's no waiver. But if you go to a trampoline park, you have to have
Yeah.
a waiver.
No, for sure, and it's such a high risk sport, man. Like I just don't actually, like obviously from what it seems, you're taking MMA as like a career path, right? Is that what it is?
So right now, like MMA is very important to me. Like it makes me really, really happy, and it's what I'm good at. Like it's what I know. I do know and acknowledge that like MMA is very risky. You know, you could have like a career-ending injury where like you break your knee or like you get like a concussion
Yeah.
where like you can't train anymore, you can't fight anymore, and like I'm really aware of that. So I have like a plan B, you know, like I have like I went to school, I did my dues. So if that ever happens, or like if I realize that like, you know, I'm getting too old for this, like
Yeah.
I have something to lean back on. It's not like I don't have anything to back me up. The reason why I'm training MMA now is because like it's just because like it's kind of like what I love. It's
Okay.
even if I like don't pursue this as a career, like I'm still gonna train like all the time because like this is what I love. I love training. I love everything about martial arts. I love the community, and it's just.
But
it's
what
just
got
I
you
know.
to training? Because like I know a lot of people got into training because like they either got influenced by people around them,
Yeah.
either by movies. Like for me, the reason why I love martial arts is because I would always see those movies and I would always look up to those fighters. And some people start fighting because they've been bullied. You know, like what was your why on why you did MMA or martial arts in general?
That's a very good question. So back when I was in high school, I went to high school that was very predominantly white.
Okay.
And a lot of the the rednecks. I'd go to school with a lot of the rednecks, and I experienced a lot of racism, where like
Really?
people would like I'd literally get beat up for being Asian. Like they would.
No.
I'd be in class and like these kids would like punch me in the back like full like 100%, and they'll call me like the C word.
Yeah.
Chink.
Chink.
Chink, exactly.
Yeah.
And I experienced.
It's not funny.
Yeah, it's not funny.
I mean, looking back, okay. But
Yeah, but it was really fucked up. Like I'd be called like a lot of racial slurs, stereotyped and physically harmed. And I'd be bullied for a lot of other things, where I felt like I needed to protect myself. Like I wasn't like a big guy growing up, and I'm still not a super big guy. I was a scrawny kid. So that's what got me into it. I started first with wrestling when I was 15 or 14 for 2 years. And I'm like, you know what? Like I'm good at this. I'm really good at this. I realized that I'm very talented at like martial arts, and I was able to learn fast. I'm like, okay, like I'd like to try other things. And that's when I signed up to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai when I was 16, and then it moved on to MMA.
wow.
Yeah, and now it's been like over 10 years of training.
That's wild. Which one do you like better? Wrestling, jiu-jitsu, or Muay Thai?
I love Muay Thai.
Okay.
I also love Jiu-Jitsu, but like, I can't neglect the other things. Like wrestling is very, very important, and I feel like
Especially in MMA.
in MMA, exactly. And I feel like I've been neglecting it. So this year I've been training a lot more wrestling.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. So do you think that like people, because like in MMA, which fighting style do you think would benefit you most? Do you think striking or like grappling would benefit you most?
Benefit like
Or find more success? Because a lot of wrestler guys are like dominating the UFC. You know? So,
yeah, like the
Dagestan guys,
and
yeah.
yeah, exactly. I personally believe that, like, you know, if you have like almost no striking but you have world class wrestling, you can beat like a striker with, like, you know, low level wrestling.
Okay. Really?
But if it's the other way around, if you have high level striking but you have like low level, like if you have high level striking but low level wrestling, but you're going against a wrestler that's high level, I would put my money on the high level wrestler.
Really?
You know, kind of like Ben Askren. Like he kind of dominated in the UFC for the longest time.
But if you were in a street fight, okay, let's say you can only pick one fighting style. What fighting style would you have on your back?
Good question.
You know?
That's a good question. Okay, well, if
because every fight starts standing up, obviously, right?
It's really,
and then it always ends up on the ground.
Yeah, it's really hard to answer that question because, like, let's say you're a wrestler, yeah, like it's ingrained in you to like start hugging the person and take them to the ground or whatnot. And in a street fight, like, I feel like it's dangerous when you're on the ground because you can't see punches from other angles because another guy could, like, kick you in the face and punch you in the face and you can't see that. So that's hard, but I don't know. Like I think that boxing would be good because you can keep your distance
and then just run away.
Exactly.
No, that's honestly that's what I always think, man. Because like if I were ever to be in a street fight, and I don't want to be in a street fight. Yeah. But if I was in a position where I'm in a street fight, I would rely on my Muay Thai skill because I wouldn't want to be doing jiu-jitsu, rolling with someone on the ground, right? Because like you said, somebody could be kicking you, or like if you're that close, you don't know, they can just like stab you with something, right?
Yeah.
Whereas
exactly.
if you can just strike, keep your distance and just run away, you know? But no, that...
But it's a really hard question to answer because, like, let's say you're a great striker, but the guy still hugs you and you can't avoid that.
You can't do anything.
Like... You can't run away from that because, like, the guy's hugging you on the ground. It's like now you're like trying to wiggle your way out. Like,
bro, when I first started jiu-jitsu, there's no other dehumanizing feeling of another guy being on top of you and you not being able to do anything about it, bro.
Yeah.
You're just like, yo, what do I do? I can't even like you try to shrimp out, you can't. You try to bridge, you can't. And just like, because the guy's just so much better than you,
exactly.
right? It almost like removes all your willpower away from you, you know? The guy's just on top of you.
It's a little degrading.
Yeah, and it really is, bro. It really is. Like when there's a guy on top of you and you can't do anything about it, is actually insane,
and he's just
bro.
Stuffing you, suffocating you, you know?
I know,
like,
bro. It's actually crazy. And size actually do play a big part.
Yeah.
If you are both equally skilled.
100%.
But if you're a really skilled guy and like there's a bigger guy, like I would always put my money on the guy that has skills.
100%.
You know?
100%.
If you could duplicate yourself, okay? There's two Adrian.
Okay.
Do you think you can take on Francis Ngannou?
No.
No? No, you don't think so?
No.
Okay, triple.
Triple?
Yes, triple.
I don't even know. Maybe like quadruple. Francis Ngannou is
like three of Adrian. You don't think you can, like, two of you would take him down? do like single leg?
Each of his legs is the size of me, you know?
Bro, that's true, bro. That's true. But you don't think so? Three of you. Okay, W, I would understand maybe just like one.
Okay, maybe three would.
Three?
Like, four. Like
four comfortably.
Like I'd be comfortable. Like not like four. Like I'd stand a chance a little bit.
Yeah.
Three, I don't know, man. Like his hands. Like he knocks one of me out, and then
exactly.
I have like there's
you
two
just
of
look
me,
at yourself like, oh fuck, right? That's what I'm saying, bro. Like he just like throw those like he doesn't do haymakers anymore. He's a bit he's gone better with striking. Yeah. But bro, imagine just getting hit with one of those, bro.
Oh, have you seen this fight with Kane, where he came up with the uppercut?
Yes, bro. He was like this, and then he landed one.
Yeah.
Boom, got him, bro. Got him. He's fighting Tyson Fury.
Oh, is he?
Yes, bro. They're doing a boxing match, bro.
Who do you got your money on?
Tyson.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think so, bro.
Because he's a boxer. He only trained boxing like all his life.
Exactly. Yeah. But that's the thing though. Is like in fighting, nothing's ever guaranteed, right?
Yeah.
Because honestly, Francis can clip him.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, he can clip him with one of those awkward. Because if think about it too, though, right? Tyson Fury has never fought, or maybe he has, but like he hasn't really fought anyone that is strictly a mixed martial artist. So maybe Francis Ngannou's fighting style could throw him off a little bit. Maybe with his timing, maybe with his foot movement. You know what I mean? Maybe that could throw him off a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I would have my money on Tyson because like
no, absolutely. Yeah.
He's literally like boxer only, you know. It's like it's like two different sports. It's like Conor McGregor fighting like Floyd Mayweather.
Exactly.
You know?
I think it's the exact same concept, bro.
Yeah,
it's the exact same concept, but like at a heavyweight.
And I don't think like Francis, like I don't think he has like, he's not used to like having 12 rounds of boxing.
That's true. That's a big one actually.
3 5-minute rounds or 5 5-minute rounds.
That's
so
true.
like I don't think his cardio is up to Tyson Fury's cardio.
And he also just had like big knee surgery.
Yeah.
Right? But at the end of the day, bro, they're both winning. They're making a lot of money, right?
Oh, 100%.
That's a lot of money, which is wild to me when we're talking about money, because like a lot of these young fighters, like when they're just coming up, they're not making any money at all.
Yeah.
Even when you make it to the UFC, you're not making much money, right? And so it's really not much guaranteed. Yeah. But it's such a high risk with not much of a reward, and unless you become a superstar, right? Does that ever I don't know what drives you. Does the money drive you with mixed martial art, or is it the love of it?
The love of it.
Okay.
You know, like I don't think and you're right, like in MMA, like you don't make a lot of money unless you're like the top guy. And even if you're like, let's say like you're top 15, but you're not like super entertaining,
yes,
like you don't make money. Like compared to Conor McGregor, I think Conor McGregor is like the highest paid athlete.
Yeah,
but he's not even like close to the best. Like compared to like Anderson Silva, George St. Pierre, like
it's attention, right?
It's attention.
Because attention is the new currency.
Yeah,
absolutely,
100%.
Because the more attention you have, the more money you can generate for the company, and the more. Bro, I'm literally telling you, Conor McGregor can fight like a homeless person and he'd make millions.
Yeah, for real.
You know what I mean? Like, honestly, that's why it's a lottery ticket for any UFC fighters that can get a fight with Conor McGregor. Because regardless on like, if Conor McGregor is like top 15 or like top 20 and you're like the top one, like you'd still take that fight. Yeah. Because you are gonna get that paycheck. You know what I mean? Like people are gonna take that fight.
Or like Jake Paul and Logan Paul and their boxing, like they make a lot of money. Like they make.
I know. Do you ever look at that and think like, wow, bro? Like if I fucking was only an influencer, I'd actually like make a killing.
Yeah. No. Like I haven't thought about that, but like they're making some good money, and I think like with that money they're able to fund like their prime drink now, which is like everywhere. Everyone loves it. Like all the kids.
Do you respect them as a fighter? Do you think you could take any of them on in an MMA fight?
I'm not sure, to be honest. Because one, they're bigger than me, and two, like they have so much money. They have access to like the best
coaches,
like coaches, dietitians, like everything that they have the money to fund everything that they do. So everything that like they do for fighting is like strictly monitored by like the highest professionals. That's true. You know, so like look at like Jake Paul. He only started like boxing recently. Like how long ago?
I think 3 years.
3 years ago, and he's beating like the highest level like UFC fighters. And people are saying like, oh, like these guys are retired and like they're at their end of their prime. Yeah. But by the end of the day, like they're still
legends, bro.
They're still legends.
I know.
That just came out of retirement, such as like
Anderson Silva. Yeah. Who's the
Tyron Woodley, and he was a killer. Like,
bro, Tyron Woodley looks scary, bro.
Yeah, right.
It's scary.
And like, was it Nick Diaz? No,
Nick Diaz. Yeah, he
Nick
just
Diaz.
fought Nick Diaz.
Yeah,
Nate Diaz.
Yeah, it was Nate. Yeah, Nate Diaz.
Nate Diaz. Yeah.
And like they have like the highest level like cardio, like endurance. Yeah. You know,
but you also gotta put in the respect for these guys, because like they wouldn't just beat. You can have the best team in the world. Yeah. But if you're not actually putting in the work, or if you're not actually committed. Yeah. Yeah. There's no way in hell you're gonna beat any of those guys.
Like before, I was just like, okay, like, you know, at first it was a joke, but now it's like I have to respect them a little bit, you know, because it also takes a lot of like, it takes a lot to be able to step into the ring or the octagon where like a lot of people are watching you, like you have a huge audience. You can't let like you have the pressure to not let your family, your friends, your coaches, your teammates down, you know. So like I can't say I disrespect them, you know.
Of course. I mean,
as a fighter,
absolutely. I mean, you just had a fight last couple months ago, right?
Last month.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
And then you have another fight coming up in September 30th.
Yeah.
How was that? How was that fight last month? How did it go?
It was good. I dominated
Okay.
the whole fight. Just ground and pound, I'd say, yeah, ground and pound the whole time. But at the same time, like it was a learning experience, because even if you win or you lose, like you look back and you're like, I could have done this, I could have done that better. So
you become hypercritical of yourself.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you got to give yourself flowers, you know? Like you also got to understand, I did that, I accomplished that.
Yeah.
How many rounds?
It was 3 rounds. It lasted all the way to decision.
Okay.
But it was on the ground like 85% of the time. Like
wow.
we didn't really throw exchanges on the feet.
Oh really? So you were just dominating.
Yeah.
So when you go into a fight, are you more confident about like with your wrestling, grappling, or your striking? I mean, is that saying too much?
No.
Is that saying too much for your future opponents?
No. Okay. So I think that like I have good groundwork. Like my jiu-jitsu is good. I have I've been a purple belt for about 2 years, over 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that my striking is also like pretty decent. Like I hold up with like the UFC fighters at TriStar, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So I think that I have the strength there, but my weaknesses, like I'd say I could work on my wrestling a little bit more.
Okay. And that's why you're working on it.
I'm working on it now.
Okay. Yeah, you can't have those.
Yeah, wrestling is tough.
So, but like when you're about to get into a fight, do you think like I'm gonna take him down, or I'm gonna do my striking? Like which one do you rely on the most? You know?
I'd say I rely on my striking.
Yeah.
But I also can't neglect like my grappling at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's fair. That's fair. Because sometimes for me, bro, like sometimes I envision myself like if I were ever to get into a street fight, what would I rely on?
Yeah.
I sometimes think like maybe I'll rely on my striking, but then I also was like maybe I'll do a bit of grappling just because.
A little bit of grappling?
No, not even that. Because I think that most people can get lucky with punches. They can just land like an awkward punch and like you could go lights out. Whereas like there are less people that really know what they're doing on the ground.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? There's a higher chance of me getting clipped standing up, but then I don't know. I just feel like I have a higher rate of survival on the ground just because of like doing jiu-jitsu and whatnot. But I don't know.
Yeah. But street fights aren't fair.
Exactly.
There could be other people from different angles.
That's true, bro. Someone could be fucking biting your face, you know?
But to answer your question from before, like if I have a plan, I try to have a plan, but I feel like my plans don't go as I plan. So like, you know, like I think I'm going to quote Mike Tyson. He said, like, everyone has a plan, but once you get punched in the face, like
it all goes away.
It all goes away. So you have to rely on, like, what your body can autonomously do.
Instinct, man. It's all instinct.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just through training, you know. That's just through, like, hundreds of reps of, you know, what you learn in the gym. And then once you're in the fight, like, you start, like, making these movements that you're not even, like, realizing, you know. Mm-hmm. It's just, like... It just comes like, naturally.
Yeah, exactly. So. It's just muscle memory, man.
Exactly.
It's just like, why am I moving like this? Because my body knows I need to be moving like this. And I don't know what that was. But
so like for my last fight, I didn't really think of much. You know, like during training, I would go through like scenarios like every week, like on Wednesdays and like on Monday there's like scenario trainings where it's like, what if he does this, then we have to do that. What if he does that, then we have to do this. So I think that like before my training, like I try to make prepare as much as I can. Mm-hmm. Where like there's no empty spaces. I try to fill in those empty spaces where like if I'm in this position, like I have like an idea of like what I can do here.
But there's so many scenarios with that, no? Because like
Yeah,
fighting,
yeah.
you can find yourself in positions where like you don't expect, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
But I think with martial arts, what's great about martial arts is that it teaches you how to be when you're confident when you're with your skill, you become adaptable with everything, right? You just adapt to a certain situation. You're like, oh, well, I didn't expect this, but because I know how to do this, I'll do this instead, right? So it's a pretty sick skill to have and whatnot. Are you scared for your next fight, or maybe not scared, nervous?
No.
No. Do you know who you're fighting?
I do know who I'm fighting. Like I know his name. Well,
Okay.
I don't know his name from the top of my head. Like my coach gave me his name.
Uh-huh.
I tried to do a little bit of research, but I couldn't find him, and I just stopped. You know, like I'm ready. Like I feel like I'm ready and I'm excited.
That's always weird with young upcoming fighters, is that like you don't know who the fuck you're fighting, bro. That's always weird, bro. It could have been like a guy that you just went on the bus with, you know?
Yeah.
It's like you never know.
Well, I don't think so. He's from Quebec.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know how long he's been fighting?
Nope.
Okay. So how did they match that? How are they able to match as a young fighter, obviously an amateur? How do they match fighters? Is it more of like, because it would be unfair if let's say I decide that I want to fight next week, that I'm going to be fighting someone who has 10-year experience.
Yeah. Honestly, since it's amateur, like I feel like there's a lot of like, what is it called? Mismatch. So I don't really know how they match it, because like I'm not like the matchmaker.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming like by skill level.
Yeah.
Obviously.
And then the more records you have, then they'll base off of records.
Yeah, exactly.
And whatnot.
But there's been talks that I might be fighting in Carolina, semi-pro, bare shin, and normal like MMA gloves.
Okay.
So that's exciting for me.
Sick. That's sick.
Yeah.
That's sick. What weight class?
145.
145,
pounds.
bro.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a lot of weight to cut.
Yeah.
How much do you weigh right now?
So I usually walk around at like 165.
Okay.
But
just
I think
pure muscle. You know,
I'm pretty lean. I'm pretty lean. Yeah.
You are pretty lean, bro.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know how you're gonna cut fucking 20 pounds.
Yeah. My last weight cut was a little hard, but I was able to manage to cut that weight off.
How long did it take you to cut 20 pounds?
It took me like a month.
A month.
A month.
Okay, so it was a healthy weight cut. Maybe.
I'd say so.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say so, but like I'd say like the last 2 weeks was a little bit tough for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, does your diet change? Does it mean that you're just doing more cardio?
My diet, it's all on diet. So like 3 weeks before the fight, 2 weeks before the fight, I have to drink 8 liters of water every day.
Why is that? Isn't that gonna make you heavier?
Yeah, so it's like I don't know like too much about the science, but it's about like if your body has like 75% water, like liquids, and then if you're drinking 8 liters a day, you're kind of tricking your body to be like, okay, like I don't need this much water, you know?
So you exert more water.
Exactly. So your body's like, I don't need this much water. I'm gonna like, you know, you're gonna piss it out, you know? And then like a day before, like 24 hours before your weigh-in, you cut water, you know, so your body's still in the mindset of like, you know, I still need to exert all this water out, so you're dehydrating yourself.
So you're overhydrating yourself, and then you're putting your body in overdrive, and then it's just gonna
exactly
panic and just flush it all out. That's crazy. Did you have to do those crazy things where you had to go into a sauna
in the sauna and cover myself in towels? No towels. I look like a mummy, and I sweat out the remaining like liquids, and it absorbs like my sweat, so it doesn't like go back into my body.
Because those pores will just open up and go back. Okay.
So basically like I did 2 types of weight cut. So I did the sauna, where I was in the sauna for 20 minutes and I'm just sweating everything out, and then I'd leave the sauna and I'd, you know, get wrapped up as a mummy and sweat more. But unfortunately, like the place where I was doing the weight cut, like they closed their sauna because it was like past like the time.
Yeah.
Of like the opening hours. So I ended up going to my friend's house, which he helped a lot. Like he helped with my my weight cut like
Okay.
tremendously. I went to his house and we had to do something called hot water submersion, where like he turns like the faucet all the way to like the highest temperature like of like hotness.
Basically, you're cooking yourself.
Exactly, and I'd sit in the hot tub for 20 minutes and then 20 minutes off in like a bunch of blankets, and that the day of my weigh-in, I had to cut 9 to 10 pounds, and it was like brutal. Like after I did my weigh-ins, like I looked like a skeleton. Like
Did you feel like lightheaded? Like
yeah, I felt
Did you have
like,
any energy, bro? Like if a fight broke out and you had to save your life, do you think you could have fought?
No, like
No?
it was really bad. And even before the weight cut, like before like I had to do like the hot water in the and the sauna.
Yeah.
Like the week before the weigh-ins, I had to fast, but two, I had to cut out all salts, all carbs, and all sugar. So like I'd wake up in the morning and
Even sugar, bro. Wow,
yeah,
really?
So I'd literally have like I'd eat like unseasoned salmon, unseasoned chicken breast,
Really?
celery, like asparagus, like all unseasoned, and it was just gross.
Wow, bro, just so that you can stay alive.
Yeah,
You're running on E basically, bro. You're just running it.
Exactly, yeah, and yeah, it was horrible.
But
I hate weight cutting.
Here's the thing, though, man. Like, I kind of know why people do the weight cut, but I kind of want to hear it from a fighter.
Yeah.
If weight cutting is so terrible for you and for your body and whatnot, why don't you just fight at 165?
Because I'll be fighting guys that are like walking around at like 200 plus pounds.
Yeah,
like they'll be bigger fighters. Like Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier, Michael Chandler. They walk around at like 190 plus pounds actually. Yeah. So they fight at 145, 155, and it's like, so can you imagine crazy. if I fight at my own weight, like 165? Like, yeah, like
you're at a disadvantage.
Exactly, and they're able to make all their weight back in like 24 hours. Like I was able to go back to 165 in like 10 hours.
With how? Just drinking water?
I rehydrate. I was dehydrated, so I was like eating salt. So shortly after my weigh-ins, I can't just eat whatever I want, even if I wanted to.
Yeah.
I can't, because I'll end up like sick. Like I'll be bloated, I'll be sick. So I had to like drink a lot of like sip Pedialytes. Okay. So it's electrolytes.
Like Gatorade almost?
Gatorade, yeah, but it's kind of like the medical Gatorade.
Okay.
With like the people that has like diarrhea or whatever, or like for kids, like this is like what they drink.
Yeah.
That's what I had. I sipped on it for like 2 hours, and then I was able to slowly eat like watermelon and like nothing too crazy for like my digestion, and then eventually I was able to progressively eat like bigger meals, like with high carbs, like sushi or steak and all that.
So it's a slow process.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I ate foods with more salt, so it was able to retain like the water, because like I was starving myself, but how I was able to cut all that weight is just water weight, like liquids.
Yeah, a lot of it is just water weight, right?
So like after my weight cut, like I ate things that could retain the water in my system, and I ate like a lot of carbs, because carbs gives you energy. So
yeah,
for my fight, like I felt 100%. Like I felt more than 100%.
That's what I was gonna say, is because like the weigh-ins is 24 hours before the fight, and I was wondering, like, does that give you enough time to replenish, to recuperate all your energy? Yeah. Like, are you actually at 100%?
I was at 100%, yes. Okay. But I was also like, I was very careful with like my weight cut. Okay. I know that there's some fighters that do their weight cuts not the right way. Yeah. And like they feel like fatigue and weak during the fight. And like when you're doing your weight cut, not the proper way and your body's weak, you're more susceptible to knockouts. Like you're more weak. Your jaw's more fragile. Yeah.
No, that's sick, man. I've just heard so many stories where like weight cut is actually more difficult than the training camp itself.
Fuck yeah. Like it was brutal. It was so brutal.
And I was like, how can that be possible? But then I see some of these fighters, man, like they're just on the scale. They look like zombies.
Yeah.
They literally look like they haven't slept in like 4 days. And I'm sure they haven't.
Yeah.
Because they're just 4 days just like trying to cut weight, bro.
Yeah.
That is insane to me. That is insane. But that is literally like true dedication to your craft, you know, and the willingness to do what you got to do to get it done.
Yeah.
Is astonishing.
I definitely think that the weight cut is one of the toughest things about fighting. You know, like, can you imagine like walking around at like 190, or like I know a guy like personally, his name's Fred Stonehouse. Have you heard of him before?
No.
Well, anyways, like he walks around at like 200 pounds and he fights at like 145, like back when he was fighting. And like, bro, like he literally looks like a different human being. You know what I mean?
That is
so
crazy.
It's like, what the fuck?
That is crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Yeah. Some people are really, really like, it almost looks so unhealthy, bro. It's almost like you shouldn't be fighting. You shouldn't do that. That's such a like so much health like risk.
Yeah.
You know?
Have you seen Conor McGregor in one of his weigh-ins? Like he looks like a freaking cancer patient.
Bro,
like.
exactly, bro. Yeah, that's a famous picture who's like this is flexing. It's actually insane.
He looked like a crackhead.
Yeah, but he won that fight though, right?
I
think that was the fight with Aldo, was it? I don't know.
There were like a couple weigh-ins where he just looked like he was on crack, like
unhealthy, you know.
Yeah.
But that's crazy. I mean, that's what you have to sign up for.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's part of the game, you know, and you get used to it. And as you move up the ladder of like, you know, the skills, and you know, you fight for more high level promotions, like you start to you know, develop more attention and have more money for you guys, you know, for them to fund their like the process, you know. So like early stages in pro, like people do it like by themselves and like they have like their coach, but like they don't have like the proper like professionals to just track like everything. So I'd say like when you're in the higher levels, like they're not as unhealthy.
Yeah, bro, they literally have like the higher personal chef, you know. Like they literally
like a mom
to the T. Exactly.
They hire a mom
to the T, bro, and it's crazy. And they'll make it so like tasty so that it's not so horrible. But I wanted to circle back around to with our conversation about like just starting fighting and whatnot, for anybody that hasn't gone into like martial arts and whatnot, and that want to get into martial arts but don't know which fighting style they should get into. What would you say is the first practice you should get into when getting into martial arts?
Well, it really depends on like what they want. Like, do they want for it to like lose weight?
Okay, self-defense. Yeah. So first one is like most common one is self-defense, right? So like, let's say I don't have any fighting experience, but I want to be able to like defend myself just in certain situations. What would you suggest for me to get into? Jiu-jitsu, boxing, Muay Thai, wrestling?
And you're asking like, I can only choose one.
Yes.
One martial arts.
Or you because everybody starts with one, right?
Yeah.
And then you basically build the foundation to do the others. But what do you think is the most? What's the best foundation? Most people start with striking.
That's a really hard question, but I have to give it to like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yes, I feel the same way.
Because in striking, like let's say you're a smaller guy, like us, you know, we're 160 pounds, you know, 165 pounds. Like we're like the medium, you know, the average, and like we're always gonna encounter like bigger people.
Guys. Yeah.
And let's say like you have like you're skilled at Muay Thai, you're skilled at striking. You could go against a guy that's bigger than you, and this guy can land a lucky strike, and you could lose.
Or maybe absorb those things better.
Yeah. Okay. So I'd say Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is one of those sports where like the smaller guy can easily beat the bigger guy, like no problem with ease. You know,
Because it all comes down to technique, right?
Yeah, it's very, very technical. But with striking, like although striking is technical, like a guy can land like a lucky shot at you, and then like you know you're out.
Yeah. Whereas
you know?
if like if you're grappling and someone puts you in a choke, like you have the skills and
and
to get out of that.
You're
right?
you're relaxed and you're not like panicking and you're not like stiff, and it's one of those things where like if you have that skill set and you take the guy to the ground where you're like comfortable, like both people don't have to get hurt.
Yeah, and it's less prone to injury too. And like I debatably would make this argument that jiu-jitsu is a lot safer than Muay Thai or boxing, right?
Yeah.
Because you're not strictly aiming for the brain, and or the head.
And jiu-jitsu is one of those sports where you can still train when you're 50 and still be okay.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
I've seen someone like become a black belt at like 60, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Or some people start their jiu-jitsu life journey at like 40, you know, and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you want your kids to fight?
Yeah. I would. Like, I'd say like when I have kids, like the first sport that I'd put them into is actually gymnastics. Because it's one of those sports where like it hits all aspects of athleticism. Like I'd say gymnastics is one of the hardest sports out there, you know. MMA is also really hard because like you have to learn like several different sports and master it. But gymnastics, it's like you have to be flexible, you have to have great balance, you have to be agile, you have to like know your body like super well. But unlike, you know, other sports like hockey, you don't have to be flexible, you know.
I mean, you do need some flexibility, but not as much in comparison to like gymnastics.
You have to be like a master at all aspects of athleticism in gymnastics compared to like other sports. Like you don't have to be the best at like flexibility. You don't have to be the best at balance. You know,
I guess what you're getting at too. I guess where you're getting at too. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that like gymnastics allows you to build that foundation that can translate over to any other sports.
100%.
Whether you're playing hockey, basketball, football, martial arts and whatnot, having the flexibility and the strength, the core strength, right? And the ability to like actually lift yourself up, because a lot of people can't even do a muscle up. Muscle up is intense, but like a pull up, you know. So to be able to do that would allow you to translate over to any sports that you get into.
And I really think that gymnastics, like you're right, like it transfers like super well into like any sports that you try to do. So like when I have kids, like that's gonna be the first thing that I want to put them into. And then, you know, maybe when they're about like 7-8 years old, I'll start putting them into jiu-jitsu and wrestling, you know. And then Muay Thai, it's like Muay Thai, like I don't want them to get hit in the head. You know?
Honestly, for me, that's actually a really good point about gymnastics, because I was thinking like I would want my kids to, I don't want to, non-negotiable, like do jiu-jitsu a little bit or just any form of martial arts, because I personally think that like for anybody that know how to fight or like can confidently know that they have a skill where they can protect themselves, inevitably their confidence just grow. Right. They have a better sense of confidence, and I want my kids to have that. So developing that at an early age I think is really, really important.
And also, like, you know, the playground could be a little bit brutal. And I think that like if they have like that skill set, like they could be more, you know, it's their physical well-being is more.
Well, would
like,
you rather your
safe,
kid
like,
be the bully or be bullied?
I rather my kid to not be both.
Okay, no, you have to pick one. You have to pick one.
Oh God.
Would you rather your kid be bullied or be the bully?
Okay, if I could pick one, it'd be the bully. Because they're not like traumatized.
Okay.
But I feel like most bullies, like they have like trauma at home. Like,
exactly.
I don't know.
That's what I was gonna say, bro. They have some problems at home, bro. They have some problems at home. I mean, being bullied goes to show that like you're you're down to earth and you're not like really pushy, and then that could also be like the beginning of an arc for like for something great, you know, like fuck this, I got bullied, you know, similar with
like
you,
GSP,
bro. Yeah, like
GSP
for you, like
well.
with you, like being bullied at school, being racially
profiled
and whatnot, got you into martial arts, and that literally changed the trajectory of your life, you know. That's wild, man.
Sure.
5 years from now, where do you see yourself?
I'm not sure. Like,
not sure.
5 years from now, like right now, I'm focusing on like MMA.
Okay.
I'm also trying to get a job in tech.
Oh.
So I can like work remote and be able to train like, you know, in the afternoon, so it doesn't affect my training. So I have like.
So what is your background in terms of like, what did you go to school for?
I went to school at Algonquin for police foundations, and then right after I went to Carleton for criminology with a minor in psychology.
Oh wow! Okay, I knew you graduated in Carleton, but I didn't know you went to Algonquin.
Yeah, I wanted to join the police, but I don't know if that's like something that I want to do anymore. You know,
join a special force, bro.
Special forces,
or something, bro. You know. That'd be wild.
Yeah, but so far right now, like I said, like the privates, like being an instructor, like it pays the bills.
Yeah, and it's fun.
And it's fun, you know.
Keeps you active, mentally, physically stimulated, you know.
And I I love teaching. Like I love that I'm making an impact on people's lives, and I'm seeing them improve like with their fitness and like their goals and stuff. And it also helps me improve because
of course,
I'm teaching it.
Yeah, nice guy.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I mean, I know your fight is coming up September 30th. Before we wrap things up, tell me about that fight. When is it happening? Where is it happening? Tell the viewers where they can find you, where they can watch.
Okay, so the event is called the Fight Time Championship, FTC. It's gonna be in Laval. I don't know the exact address. I didn't really look too much into it. I just accepted the fight, and I'm just like, I'm ready. Like, I'm ready to go.
I like that.
I don't know.
That's a
like,
warrior mentality.
Yeah, I don't know all the information. I don't even know like anything about like my opponent. Like, I don't really care. You know, like before I would like be really, really nervous, and the nervousness will take over like my thought process. Like I couldn't think anything else like the month of the fight.
Yeah.
But now I'm just like, you know, like I'm ready. Like I'm excited. Like this is gonna happen. You know. So, yeah. Like back to your question. Like I don't really look too much into it.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
But the event, Fight Time Championship. So I'm sure.
Is it gonna be live streamed like the previous fight?
I believe so.
Okay.
Most of the fights that I fight in, it's live streamed. So
that's dope.
I'm sure it's online.
No, I'm definitely gonna take a watch on that. Last question I have for you, Ashley, is when you do these fights, do you want your family to be there or your friends? Because like some people like don't want their family to be around just in case, you know, like they lose, or they don't want their family to see them like fighting, and whatnot, just because like some people are like nervous, right?
I have a story to tell. Okay. So for my first MMA fight, I was 16. And the guy I was fighting, he was 23, so he was a developed like man, you know, and he was like muscular, he was jacked, and I like for some reason I thought that like, you know, the more tattoos you have, the more badass and tough you are.
Yeah.
Like I was freaking out. Okay, like I was very, very nervous. My first MMA fight, I was 16, still in high school. Like I was shitting bricks. Okay, I was training hard for it though. However, like my mom does not support fighting at all, like growing up, like at all. So the moment she found out that I was fighting, like she kept on saying like, no, you're not doing it, like you're gonna get hurt, you're gonna get like knocked out. So can you imagine like what, because like your mental game is also like plays a big role in fighting. So if you're going in a fight like unconfident, like it really affects like how you fight. So like even if you're like the better fighter, if you're not confident, then like
plays a big toll. It's a big mental game.
Exactly, you know. Yes. So can you imagine like training like every single day, and like you're trying to like mentally and physically prepare for this fight, and your mom's like, you're gonna get knocked out.
Oh
You know, you're gonna get knocked
yo,
out. Don't
wow.
fight. You're gonna get. And she's like concerned and she's scared. You could just
Yeah.
see like her facial expressions. So
Yeah.
it kind of like made me go into like a looping negative thought of death. Okay, I'm gonna call it that. So I was like, Mom, like please, like you support me, like I'm gonna do this, like can you stop saying this, like support me, I want your support, like this is what I love.
Yeah.
I think my mom like really tried to support me, so she's like, oh, I'm gonna come, and I'm like, no mom, you're not, like because
Okay.
I know deep inside like she doesn't support me, but like she just
Yeah.
wants to come and like see what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So the day of the fight, I was the second one on the card to fight, and my training partner was the first one to fight. Okay. When my training partner fought the first round, he kicked the guy in the face, made a huge slap on his chin. He got knocked out like cold. Like it wasn't a TKO, it was like a cold knockout.
Wow.
And he literally just like dominoed back, you know?
Wow.
And like he was on the ground like unconscious for like, let's say like 8 minutes, you
8
know?
minutes,
so
bro?
like the crowd was silent. And like I could just like, you know, I'm kind of like upstairs where like, you know, you're warming up. I
Yeah.
see my mom just like freaking out and stuff.
Oh man.
And then the commentator was like okay, so once the guy like
Star.
yeah,
Yo,
yeah, no,
imagine.
no. So it's okay. So let's backtrack. So when the guy woke up, everyone was like, yeah, let's go, you know, because like
Yeah.
he's alive now. Okay.
Yeah.
He steps out of the ring, and then like, you know, the next person. The next person to fight, which is me. He's
Yeah.
like, next up, like fighting on a Owama wing, 140 pounds, like Adrian Wong, you know. And then I'm walking, like my mom's like sitting at the end where like, you know, I'll be passing my mom. Like there's
Yeah.
like kind of like a
The
like
walkway?
the walkway, exactly. I'm walking and I'm in my zone. My mom grabs me and she's like, no, Adrian, you're not fighting. You're going to get knocked out.
I'm dead. But your mom just being concerned though, right?
Yeah,
Rightfully
but-
so, especially after seeing that.
Yeah, but it was very embarrassing. And after like I was honestly like inside, I was freaking out. Like I was ready to get knocked out.
Wow. So how'd that fight turn out?
I won. Yeah, I won. I won that fight.
By how?
By decision. I
Okay.
almost submitted him like via triangle.
Oh wow. Okay.
But he escaped.
Did your mom understand what was going on?
No, my mom doesn't know anything about martial arts, even till this day.
Okay.
So now, like, whenever I have a fight, like, I don't really tell my mom.
Oh, so she doesn't know that you fought last month?
Well, she does, because like I posted a lot of
Okay.
like posts on Instagram of my fight and all that. But like I think she also came to like the acceptance that like this is what I'm gonna do, and there's nothing that she can do to stop me.
When you
like.
get to that age where you can make your own decision,
Yeah,
and move out,
yeah.
it's like some parents kind of just like let you
Yeah,
go.
because like I guess like when I'm 16, like I'm still a baby, like to her, you know.
Bro,
like,
when I couldn't even imagine fighting a 16-year-old right now, bro.
Yeah,
I'd be
yeah.
You're a child, bro. Imagine looking at a 16-year-old right now. You think they're a child, you know?
Yeah,
they
exactly.
are.
Yeah, so yeah.
That's crazy. But is she coming to this next one?
No, I don't want her to come
Okay.
because I feel like it's gonna mess with like my my mental game.
Okay.
You know, knowing that like my mom is there, and like I also don't want her to watch me get hurt.
Yeah, of course.
You know, so
Of course.
yeah, and she's also like, you know, I feel like Asian parents, like especially from like I can't speak on behalf of like all Asian cultures, but like in like where I'm from, like from Hong Kong, like Cantonese culture, like fighting is not something that like the culture supports.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, so like I just feel like when I'm fighting, like, and she's speaking about her concerns to like her friends and like, you know, her Kanto like community,
Yeah.
like they're all like saying like, oh, like you shouldn't let him fight, and there's a lot of like social pressure on her to tell me not to fight. So like I kind of like understand like where my mom's coming from, although
Yeah.
I'm just like, you know, let me do my thing.
No, of course. You gotta break out of that, you know.
Yeah.
But no, that's amazing, bro. Well, bro, I'm proud of you. I gotta say, man, to be where you are right now takes time, dedication, and discipline. And I wish you nothing but the best of luck on your next fight.
Yeah.
I definitely want to tune in, and everybody should tune in. You know, it's gonna be amazing. And like you said, he said maybe you should be pro in 2 to 3 years. One
Or two, either this year or next year. That's what both of my coaches from H2O and TriStar said, like Faraz and Richard.
Okay.
And I think I'm ready. Like,
what's the biggest transition? Like, how can someone be like, okay, now I'm pro, or like, oh, I'm still an amateur fighter right now? Is it amount of fights? Sorry, I know we're going deeper into this.
No,
but like,
no problem. Yeah.
Is it?
So it's your experience.
Okay.
Obviously, like, it's, your fight is experience too, but I've been in the game for like over a decade, and like the people that I train with, like, well seasoned pros.
Yeah.
Not just like pros like starting up, but like pros that have been pros and have been active fighters for a while. Like, I train with them, and I feel like I stand my ground,
Yeah,
and my
you can hang.
Yeah, like, I'm not like, even like the invite only like pro sparring, like, I know, and even my coach knows that I could, I can hang with them in the cage and train with them. So like, I've been training with pros for a while, and I think I'm soon to be ready. It's been a while. It's been a while I've been training.
Yeah, no, absolutely, bro. You're a fucking killer, bro.
Yeah.
Just seeing you spar and whatnot, we've had some. It wasn't even sparring, bro. You were just playing with me, bro. Like, there's just some crazy shit, but no.
No, you're good too.
No.
You're very talented. No, for real.
I appreciate
like,
that.
you're one of the most talented like students or people that I taught. Like, you learn the moves like immediately. Like, I'll teach something, or like you'll learn something from like a different person, and like you'll apply it, and you're able to apply it. So like, I remember like we'd have like conditioning class, and then we'll have like technique, like Muay Thai technique, and then we'll have like the sparring, and like you would implement the technique that you learned the day I taught it, and you're able to use it, and you're able to add it to your arsenal. And a lot of people, like, they don't have the ability to do that.
Thank you. And just because I had a great instructor, which was Adrian, ladies and gentlemen. So I mean, if you want to train, is H2O kind of like an open gym? Anybody, is it open for public?
H2O and TriStar is open to the public.
Okay.
No politics.
Okay.
No, they don't care about cross training.
Get trained by Adrian, and you will be a fighter in no time, bro. That's all I can say, bro.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.